Great call to join in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. As always, coming to you from our brand new outstanding studios. We've got an outstanding guest for you, defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. And we visit with Coach about a lot of things, about what he's doing in the offseason, the time he's taken to kick back a little bit with family and friends. He's going to be going to the Jersey Shore. Can't hate that. But we also talked about OTAs, minicamp, the tweaks, the adjustments that were made by he and his coaching staff based on the draft, veteran free agency, personnel, position shifts, Dax Hill going from safety to corner. I mean, there's a lot of things that took place, a lot of new ingredients to work into schematics and X's and O's, and nobody does that better than defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo and this Bengals coaching staff. So a lot of that was discussed and a lot of philosophy defensively, where it came from. Lou Anarumo over time in his coaching career. A lot of good things in our discussion with defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. Made a great move today, joining us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics. And we are settling into our brand new studios in our brand new building. It's all good. We really appreciate First Star Logistics for stepping up with the first class accommodations, as always. And we have a first class guest. And that's why I say you made a good move to join us today, because we're being joined by an X's and O's genius, defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, who not only is a hell of a coach, but a hell of a leader of men and a great human being himself. Coach, appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks, Lap. Always good to be here.
So it's minicamp, mandatory minicamp concluded. What did you make of your organized team activities, mandatory minicamp? Did you get done what you had hoped to get done?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a great way to get all the new pieces together, both draft picks and free agents, and everybody kind of get to know each other. And then, I think as the spring went along, guys, really feeling comfortable with each other, and I'm happy with where we're at this point.
So I know there's a lot of taking a look at things based on, we've talked about this. I know in the past, when you're drafting, and do you draft basically to fit what you have in mind schematically? Do you wait and see what you get from the draft and free agency to make any alterations or adjustments to your packages? How do you work the X's and O's of it and the personnel to fit? How does it work out, Coach? How do you put that together?
Well, I think it's a combination of both, where we're trying to get the guys that fit us the best. It's never going to be perfect, but then once you get them and kind of see what they can really do, once you get your hands on them, I think you kind of try to slot them into certain positions, or certain roles. So we're still going through that process. That the spring is a good evaluator, but really until we get the pads on and start really practicing football, we won't really make any hard and fast decisions.
And your installation, you have multiple opportunities for installation. Do you go back to ground zero every time when you're in the installation process, phase by phase? Or do you say, okay, well, we've gotten to this point, we're going to pick up from here and go forward? How do you handle it with your guys?
No, we always start from, the base bottom of the beginning of everything. We'll do that in spring. We do it again in training camp. They can never hear just the core fundamentals enough. So we definitely start from the beginning and kind of progress our way through.
You've got some veteran players, veteran leadership on your defensive football team. Do you notice? You probably don't have to say to them, "Hey, look, why don't you take so and so under your wing?" We've got X amount of time for meeting time, but you guys can do some things on your own. It's probably to the point you don't have to even make that kind of suggestion anymore. Guys are probably doing that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they really do. They really do. Really gravitate to the younger players, and whether it's the guys up front, Sam, Trey, BJ, guys that have been around here, getting to those younger guys, and Jermaine and Logan, and then in the back end, certainly Vonn and Gino kind of getting with the guys that they need to, and it just happens. They know what the young guys need, and from a guidance perspective. So it's great to have those veteran leaders.
From what you've seen, and again, it's been pretty much underwear ball, as the old saying goes. I mean, shorts and T-shirts and, helmets, some of it. But you think some of the pieces that you picked up, do you see real good fits? Do you see on the field, boy, that's exactly what I thought it would look like? Is it that kind of scenario for you?
I think so. There's always going to be, different things that you go through. But, as I mentioned earlier, I think at the end of the day, it's a start in the evaluation process, but getting through training camp, preseason games, then you really get a good feel of what you have. So
what is your message to players? Do you suggest to them, hey guys, keep up with this. Don't totally put it aside. Maybe every once in a while refresh yourself to the playbook, because when we hit the ground in training camp, we're going to hit the ground running, particularly the younger guys. Is that kind of on their own, or are suggestions made by you and your coaching staff? How do you handle that part of it?
Yeah, our staff does a great job connecting with the players. I think at the same time, you want to give them a mental break from everything. Not a long time, but as we get closer to training camp, start making sure they're back in their iPads and back in their notes and looking at things. And our generally speaking, our players do a great job with that.
I know you're going to take some time with family over the holiday down at the shore. I mean, can you get your mind off of football, Coach? Or are you like in the sand drawing X's and O's, or what's your mentality like?
I try not to be, that's for sure. But you're just sitting there and your mind goes to football. It's what we do all the time. So I'm not that extreme that way where I'm drawing stuff in the sand. But I may tell my son and my other son to get hey, let's try this. Chris, take on Lou and let's see if this works. But
I like it.
But no, generally speaking, we try to just separate the two and try to enjoy yourself a little bit.
Yeah, have you ever? I mean, in that type of environment, though, do you ever have like an aha moment? I mean, it's like, you're listening to the ocean, you're looking at the sunset, and all of a sudden, boom, this big idea hits you because, you're so totally relaxed, and here it comes out of nowhere, and bam, man, what a great idea that is.
I mean, there's been times that something, I may just make make a note on my phone that something popped up that I was like, wow, that's a good idea, and revisited. But I don't know that it was necessarily just one great thing. I think it's just maybe certain things that can maybe help with a scheme, or maybe even just hey, we should try this at practice instead of that, something like that.
How much fine tuning does go on by you as a coaching staff during, OTAs and minicamp? I mean, how many things? You don't want to overdo anything, I guess, for anybody's mind, anybody's mentality. But I'm sure there's a lot of things you guys discussed that never makes it to the players on the field. I mean, how much brainstorming goes on with you and your staff?
Yeah, we try to do a lot of that, the research part of it, and how can we do things better every year, every week. We're looking at that, and so we spend like all staffs do. We spend a good amount of time on that, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure what information is getting to the players is cut down, and it's right to the heart of the matter, and not giving them too much.
So have you talked to? You probably didn't talk to your group yet. That's probably a training camp. Training camp scenario where you get up and you say to the team, okay, this is a new season. Here's what we did well last year. Here's what we need to improve on, goals. But do you do that right away, Coach, or is that something that is talked about over the course of time during training camp? How do you handle, like, okay, you've already gone through last year with them, and now you're into the adjustment phase, and how do you discuss the immediate future with your football team? How do you break that?
Yeah, so I think what we try to do is in the spring is kind of right the wrongs from the previous season. So, hey, here's what we did well. Here's what we didn't do so well. Here's how we're going to fix it. and that's all handled in the spring, so that when we come back in training camp, there's a message, there's a theme of what we're trying to get done. Some of it will linger from last year. Hey, we're going to do X, Y, and Z better, but we're not going back to last year in training camp. We're moving forward.
What did you feel like you did the best as a defensive unit last year?
Well, I mean, turnovers we did a good job with. Those takeaways were came in key spots. I think that was something that was good. Our red zone in certain games was good, but overall, I think, as I've said, revisiting last year, is just the one word that keeps coming back was just being inconsistent. So that's going to be a theme going forward, that we're going to be a more consistent team like we have been in the past.
What about the biggest thing that you talked about, guys? Look, this needs to be improved upon. We got to get this done.
Well, the number one is just the explosives. No explosive runs, no explosive passes. There's going to be times where you give those up in games, but it cannot be the amount that we did last year, for sure.
So you're a guru.
I'm not.
On the defensive side of football, but you're really, really talented on that back end. I mean, how do you feel about what you've done on your back end in terms of maneuvering guys to different positions, free agent acquisitions, what you did in the draft? How do you feel like that's been addressed?
Really well. I'm certainly pleased to have Vonn back, Vonn Bell, and Gino Stone to that mix back there, with Jordan Battle. I think, it's a great thing for Jordan, having those two guys to draw on and lean on to, just for his career, just two great veterans. And then, moving Dax to corner and, adding him to the fray and seeing how that goes. I think competition is a coach's best friend, and we'll have plenty of it back there in training camp.
Watching Cam Taylor-Britt, at OTA's mandatory minicamp, he kind of looks like he's redone his body a little bit, man. That looks like he's worked hard physically.
I think most guys have, done a good job with that. Joey Bose does a great job with our guys in the weight room, and these guys just stay in shape these days. So Cam's no different from a lot of guys. They've really worked hard.
He is blessed with. He's got remarkably soft hands. I mean, he has got just wide receiver type hands, doesn't he? I mean, he catches the ball extremely well.
No, he does, and he plucks it out of the air, as you've said, and you can tell he's confident in that. And it's becoming more rare these days with guys with great ball skills, and he certainly has them.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that, I always marveled at guys, they'd catch the ball and it sounded like a vacuum. I mean, there's no noise when they're catching. It's just like, what the heck, man? You can't even hear any contact. I mean, I don't know what they give perfectly with the football, but it's remarkable how soft their hands are. It really is.
No doubt. Just adds another element to, we talked about takeaways, and you got to be able to catch it to take it away. So he's good at that.
17 picks last year, Coach. It's pretty darn good number. I mean, that's getting it done.
Yeah, we just want to, we got great. I think between Logan and Jermaine, they combined. I thought I saw a stat where they were in the top 2 or 3 in the league in terms of takeaways, interceptions there. So we're going to keep getting from those guys, and then continue in the back end, taking the ball away. Yeah,
I mean it is really good. Watching those two backers take their drops, and they have a great sense for it. I mean, the passing game, they have the great eyes and a great mind for the passing game, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. They're two veteran guys that have been around, know the system, and they're well aware of things that we did well and not so well last year. And I'm very pleased with where Jermaine and Logan are at going into next year.
So, Coach, it came out that Hard Knocks is going to be involved with the entire division, the AFC North, and understandably so. I mean, the AFC North, as we know, is the best division in football. I mean, everybody finished with a winning record last year. First time that's happened in a division in 88 years. 1935 was the last time everybody in the division had a winning record. So, hey, Hard Knocks is like, let's go. Let's monitor the AFC North down the stretch. That's going to be a little interesting. What do you think about that, Coach?
Yeah, no, I've had some experience in, what was it, 2012, I think,
Yep.
with the Dolphins. We had the Hard Knocks guys there for training camp. So, it's a good experience. It'll be different because it's in season. Certainly haven't gone through that before. But as you mentioned, we play in arguably the toughest division in football, and it's nice that they'll be jumping from team to team. But it'll be a good experience. It'll get to showcase some of our guys and let really everybody see what the players go through during the regular season.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting dynamic. I mean, they have to be really careful. I mean, it's the regular season, and it's playoff push time.
Yeah.
They got to be really, really careful, and there's got to be a lot of trust back and forth that nothing's going to get out there that shouldn't. And obviously, they're going to let you guys take a look at everything before they put it out on the air. But I just think it's great. It's great for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's great for the AFC North. I mean, I think it's attention that's just due. There's no question about it.
No, I couldn't agree more, and I think it'll be to shed a great light on our organization.
So when you're putting together your defensive schematic and you're tweaking it and doing the various stages that you do, with your coaching staff during organized team activities, mandatory mini camp, I mean, all the way through the season, how much is it like, all right, first and foremost, we have to make sure that what we're doing here addresses what we have to do within our division? I mean, that's obviously paramount with as strong as the division is. Is that first and foremost, no questions asked?
Yeah, goal number one, Zach sets it for the team, is you got to win your division. And there's a reason why there hasn't been a 3-time repeat champion in this division, because it's so tough. And we were fortunate to win it in back-to-back years. Getting the third one it's a challenge, but you want to start and win your division first. That's going to secure your playoff spot. And then you kind of go from there. But we've got, 3 other great teams that we have to play, every year, twice a year, 3 other great stadiums that we have to go to that are challenges. And same with us, they got to come into Cincinnati, which has now become, a really, really difficult place for a team to come in and play because of our great fans and the energy that they bring, and it really affects our team in a positive way. So it's a tough division, but let's go win that, and that'll set us up for hopefully a good playoff run.
The division, it's the physicality of it, stands out to me as a former player. I mean, it's like, man, guys get after it now. It is a very, very physical division. I mean, at the line of scrimmage, everywhere on the football field, guys are bringing it. Besides that, and I don't think you have to be a football Einstein to see, man, these guys play hard, they play physical. It's the AFC North. What else is it about the division, Coach, that makes it so tough?
I just think it's a little bit, I kind of mentioned this to the defensive guys before they left. I said it's a little bit like, to a degree, your high school neighborhood rivalry, because everybody's really close. Cleveland's right up the road, Pittsburgh's not far, Baltimore is an hour and 20-minute flight, whatever it is. So
right.
It's got that feel to it. And I know when I was in high school, we had this Thanksgiving game that we always played against the same team every year. We hated them, they hated us. It's very, very similar in that regard in my mind. So it's great for the league. It's great for all of the NFL, and it's a great feel.
I think that's probably another big reason why Hard Knocks jumped on it. Those rivalries are real, and they're intense, and they've been around for a while. I mean, it's not something that it's a Johnny-come-lately thing. And boy, you're right. I mean, I remember Thanksgiving Day high school rivalry. Ours was Melrose. We called them Smellrose, and those guys, man, if you went undefeated and lost to them, season stunk. I mean, if you didn't win a game and beat them, that's not too bad a season. I mean, that's a little bit overstated, but that game, it made or broke a season many, many times.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's the feel we try to, especially for the younger players or a free agent that's not used to it. That's kind of what we let them know, that hey, here's what you're walking into when you when you get into these type games. So
how big a plus can Geno Stone be in that regard? I mean, here he comes from Baltimore Ravens, a defensive stalwart in his tenure there, and here he comes to Cincinnati. I mean, he can. I'm sure he has a hell of a message to deliver, doesn't he?
Well, again, similar to Vonn, he's kind of been there, done that, seen a lot of things over his career, and but goes about it in the right way. That's one of the things that attracted us to Geno is that his approach and how smart he is, how he plays. And as you mentioned, he knows what the division's all about, obviously being with Baltimore. So, we're excited to have him.
When you over the years put together what you want to do from a schematic standpoint, how much of it did you take something from your college days coaching? Did you take something from the professional years as an assistant? Is it pretty much a schematic that you ran one spot more than you ran in others, or is it a compilation of a whole lot of things, Coach?
Yeah, I just think it's a bunch of things that over the course of time that you felt like you take a little bit of what you liked at each place that you were at, whether it be college or the NFL, and if it fits and it can help us, and it's always changing. We're always still doing research, talking to people, and so yeah, I think it's a bunch of as you mentioned, a bunch of different things that come together.
You're always looking to add players with that good football IQ. I mean, it seems like so many guys on your football team are high-level football IQ guys, smart guys in general, but high-level football IQ guys. I mean, is that on the checklist, of many things? How high is that for you?
Yeah, it's up there. You want to make sure that you got guys that can understand what, conceptually what you're trying to get accomplished, and have a feel for what their role is in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, it's definitely up there, and we've got some guys that can really think the game as well as play it.
How much is this time of year a challenge? Not a challenge, but how much? Oh man, I'm not around the players at all here for these, 5+ weeks. I have trust and faith that they're going to do things the right way and take care of their bodies and all that sort of thing. You have a message for them in that regard, or it's like, hey, you guys are pros. I know and let's leave it at that. How do you handle that part of it, Coach?
Well, our coaches do a great job of Zach sets the tone, but our coaches do a great job of staying in touch and staying in contact and letting it's really the veterans kind of know what time of year it is. We educate the younger players on, hey, this isn't the time to book trips to wherever. That's after the season's over. This is the time to train and get ready to play. You shouldn't be traveling all over the world. You can do that anytime you want, but certainly, in our opinion, it's best when the season's over to do that. And now it's focused on getting your body ready to go through a grueling NFL season.
Did most of the guys, for your eye, as you looked at guys, were most of the guys in pretty good football shape as the mandatory minicamp concluded, or guys need to do a little bit more to get ready for what you got planned for them during training camp, or what's the status there?
Yeah, I think Joey Bose does as good a job of anybody. Our lead strength guy, Joey's terrific.
Yep.
Those guys are in great shape, ready to go. So I felt like our conditioning was where it needed to be, and it'll only get better as we go through training camp.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing over the years that I've noticed. It's football, it's a year-round thing now. Nobody gets out of, dismally out of shape.
No.
Back in the day, I mean, it's like guys had off-season jobs, had to work in the off-season. It's like we'd have a weekend mini camp coach, and guys would come in. It's like, dude, what have you been doing? Having a truck all off-season and eating? I mean, it's like, oh, man, yeah. Are you going to fall out or what? Are you going to be able to make it through this 3-day mini camp? I mean, it's unbelievable. How about the heat up here in Cincinnati? I know you're in Staten Island now, Coach. How hot is it there? It's like in the low 90s here with the humidity and everything. It's feeling like 99, 100 degrees. What's it feeling like over there?
It's the same. Yeah, it just started yesterday, kind of rolling in here. Supposed to supposed to heat up. So, but it's summer, it's hot everywhere. So
it is that. It is that. Well, I know you're going to enjoy the Jersey Shore at some point here, shortly with family, and enjoy the time that you've got to spend with family and friends, Coach. I know you've made a lot of friends in that neck of the woods over there. Enjoy all of them, and family to boot.
You too, Lap. Have a great summer, bud. We'll see you when we get back.
Look forward to it, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.